In this video, I'm going to show you how to tie the Kryston Loop knot. This is one of the easiest loop knot to tie, and it's very important that I mention this right here. A lot of people tie the loops and they tie it too darn big, and that's actually really bad for many reasons. And I like the Kryston Loop knot because you could size the loop or your knot very easily as you're tying it compared to other loop knots. Not saying that you can't do it with other loop knots, but I found that this is certainly the easiest, and you guys will find out why later as I do the tutorial. But as I mentioned earlier, having a huge loop knot is one of the biggest mistakes that any anglers could do. In fact, with social media these days, I've been seeing a lot of folks tying their loops, and they're like this freaking huge. Why? Why? I don't know why, but it's bad. Let me show you guys why. First and foremost, when you have a loop this big, you're actually creating more drag, whether it's casting or reeling through the water. It's no good. Second, if you guys have a loop this big, watch this. See how I'm tapping this and the loop just deforms? It has a weak structural integrity. So when you're actually reeling this in, you can see that this thing just bends it and just pinches itself. Okay, and after you fight a few fish, it's gonna stay bent. Eventually, it's gonna get crimped. However, if you actually have a very small loop knot, right, like this, just take your line and bend it like this, and just tap it. It doesn't change much. It doesn't change at all. So when you actually put force on this, eventually it'll bend back into place, which is great. And if you guys have a big loop versus a small loop, you guys will notice a difference in the wobbling of your hook. When you have it smaller, it actually wobbles a lot better. And then here's one last thing that a lot of people don't know about loop knots. And with some specific lures, they actually add a different action. First and foremost, most people would just reel this in, slow roll it, and you know, it does the wobble. That's what most people want out of this. However, if you actually fish lures like a fluke, right? Obviously, a fluke doesn't have any sort of swimming tail. It's a straight tail. And how you would fish those lures is you twitch it, you jerk it, and it actually darts through the water, right? If you actually fish it in a very finesse tactic where you just do a quick jerk and just give it slack line and let it fall back down, that is key with the small loop knots, okay? So let me show you guys right now. When you look at this loop knot right here, right? When you actually twist this, pull this through the water, and you stop. Give us a slack line. This lure right here is gonna keep moving because it has more weight. So what happened is it's trying to push forward, and as you see, it stops right there because the loop is so small. And because it still probably has some more momentum, it's gonna still try to push, and then it's gonna rock. So it actually does a shimmy when you do a twitch. It shimmies and it falls back down. Do a twitch, pull, it's gonna go up into the water column with some shakiness, and it's gonna fall back down. Now, if you actually have a loop knot that's this freaking big, what's happening is you're gonna twitch it, it's gonna slide up, and it's gonna keep going one direction. And then by the time it hits here and it wants to back out, it may not back out all the way and doesn't give that crazy shimmy action when compared to a small loop knot. Okay, that is a killer finesse tactic, and you only can achieve it with smaller loop knots. Okay, so now that I point out the mistake that I see on social media and the benefits of having a small loop knot, let's get on to the tutorial on how to tie this awesome loop knot. All right, let's tie this sexy loop knot, the Kryston loop knot. You first start off with your line. I have 20-pound test line right here, mono, for sake of demonstration. It makes it so much easier on film. But I found that this knot does work with thinner lines, but the way that you finish the line is a little different. I'm gonna show you guys later. But anyway, the first step for making this loop knot, the Kryston loop knot, is you create an overhand knot, just like so. And keep in mind the way that you wrap your loop, okay? So as you saw, I just create my loop, overhand knot, and I wrapped it around this way from top going in, right? This wraps. You're gonna need to do 2 more wraps later, and it should go the same direction, okay? In fact, we're gonna do this right now, but before you even do that wrap, what you do is you take your hook, all right? Got a jig here, stick the tag in through the eye, slide it all the way down to touch that loop right there. Then you wrap your tag end into that loop twice, same direction as mentioned earlier. Now you have this nice contraption here. This is why this knot is the best loop knot out there, because you can resize the loop very easily. Now, this main line here, what it does is actually tightens the overhand knot. See that? It makes the overhand knot smaller. And then the free tag end, when you pull that, that shrinks that loop you see that actually is going through the eye of the hook. What you want to do from here is you tighten the main line, create that overhand knot. You want it as small as possible. You want it small as the eye of your lure. Next, you take your tag end and you actually close this loop here all the way, completely, right? Your eye of your lure should be touching that overhand knot right there. There's literally nothing there. However, the next step is you tighten the overhand knot by pulling the main line, and you can see that hole right there of that overhand knot will transfer to now you created loop knot. See how small this is? This is awesome. All right. Now from here, if you have like 8-pound test up, I found that just one overhand knot or hitch knot right here, and to properly cinch this thing down is you have to have this line tight. So you need to pull the main line, pull the lure, and then you can use your teeth to just pull that right there. And then you pull it down towards the knot, the overhand knot, and you can just trim this, and you're done. Now, if you had super thin line, like I fish 4-pound test line, what I like to do is I wrap this thing around multiple times instead of one wrap for the hitch. It's called half hitch. You just do that, and you basically thread it backwards like this, and pull it down, pull it back up, pull down, and eventually, it'll get to the bottom. But yeah, make sure you wet the line. All right. When you guys tighten your knots, always wet the line. And pretty much that's it. One half hitch, then multiple half hitch, and this thing will stay on forever. All right. Trim it, and you're ready to fish. There you go. I hope you guys have enjoyed this knot tying tutorial. If so, smash the like button. The fish don't wait. Brush up on your knot tying skills. Are you not confident? Jimbo's not confident, but I don't know about you guys.